of NPCs. There are plenty of NPCs that you can either befriend or save or potentially defraud. You've just got
So many options.
so many options.
There are a lot of options.
They're often very
What to do.
trusting.
Hard to choose.
Like we're the big visitors that came
They
to
often
town.
have silly names, so you don't feel crazy when you steal money from them.
We can guarantee they have silly names. So we feel better about
especially because most NPCs, I ask you all to name them.
Yeah.
And so
I will
it's like,
rob you to time blind. I don't feel bad.
Yeah, if you like look at an easy mark and you're like, oh, your name is Slappy the Rich. It's like, well,
Slappy the Rich.
We know that Slappy the Rich is going to get defrauded of their retirement.
Dum the easily fooled. Ha-ha! Hello, everybody. Welcome to Knights of Prospect. I am Rob Mulligan. I play Ronaldo Francis Mackay the Fourth. He's a rich boy who will not be stolen from. With complicated familial relationships. Welcome, everybody. We're to a night of roleplay and fun and adventure and a mix of all three. Not in that order. So we are playing a game using the Dungeon World system, and it is going to be fun. If you don't know what that means, don't worry. You don't have to worry about it. Do not worry about it. No. Hey, let's introduce the cast. Hey,
yeah, hey. I'm Sam Hoare. I play Chauncey, who used to be a boy wizard, but today we're revealing what he has become.
Oh my god, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And in general, Chauncey, regardless of what his class might be, is a very powerful and hazardous boy full of joy and wonder. That's my character, Chauncey.
Yeah.
Hi, Kylie.
Yes, hello. I am Kylie Rolensick, and tonight, and in all of these wonderful adventures, I play Jelly, an 11-year-old human thief. Mischievous, quick on my toes. I have a rapier and poisons aplenty. So, up to no good, looking to find an adventure and some fame, which we already managed, and just, sneaking about. See what the world has in store. See what the world has in store tonight.
I'm Samantha Levangie. I play Winnie, a bard elf, and recently washed off all the guts from being inside of an octopus. Is eager right? Only recently is eager to fix friendships through song, pierce the eardrums of her enemies, and yeah, I think that's it.
Just those two things.
Medium
goals.
Ambitions.
And I guess that just leaves me. I'm John Serpico. I'm the game master. I have a couple of different things that I do. I want to make sure that the players are always staying busy, that there's always something that they have to make some kind of choice about. And
so busy.
And every so often I'll ask them to roll dice. They're always going to be rolling 2 6-sided dice. If they get a 6 or less, what they want to happen doesn't end up happening. On a 7 to 9, part of what they want happens. On a 10 plus, everything they want and more happens. So I get to be the arbiter of dice rolls. And also I get to provide very quick summaries at the beginning of episodes. So that's my other job. So let's talk a little bit about where we are. This is session 38 or episode 38, which is very, very exciting for us. For those of you joining for the first time, either in Twitch or on YouTube or on our podcast, the story is essentially, these 4 adventurers here are 4 of a couple of dozen Knights of Prospect, this fine, brave group of adventurers located in the city of Tower Town. And the big thing that just happened is they recently saved Tower Town from an enormous terrifying magical octopus. The origins of that octopus we don't really need to get into right now, but it was
it was me.
all right, I've been joking. But you know, they essentially saved their home from an octopus, from a wannabe dictator who was not that octopus, a different thing.
Octopus
Octopus.
loves different systems of ruling.
Yeah,
Very-
just all kinds of, you know, representative monarchy, believe it or not.
That's what octopus
That's
was
what
all
the
about.
octopus wanted. But yes, they saved Tower Town many times over, and now we're kind of in this new world. It's almost like a new beginning for everybody. They're rebuilding Tower Town. They're figuring out how all these battles have changed them, and they're gonna, you know, go and explore and engage in super fun adventures. So I think that is about as good a summary as we need.
Yeah.
So I think it's time that we get started on this week's adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo! Here we go. And here we are. I think that worked.
I think so too.
Oh, it's very
I feel
exciting.
transported.
I know.
I don't know about you.
Yep. So this is us, everybody. For those watching on YouTube or on Twitch, you should be able to see statistics. You'll see Tower Town, the famous Tower Town in the background, and here we all are.
The
so,
tower is a lot bigger than you thought.
Yeah, everyone has the idea of the tower in their mind. It's literally so much bigger. It's made by elves 1,000 years ago.
Huh.
No one could figure out how they did it. The fact that they just let the humans have it is really a story for another time. But the fact of the matter is, here we all are. After the battle with Madam Octopus, the great octopus that almost pulled down that very tower, if not for the bravery of the Knights of Prospect, you all included. After that battle, you know, there was much to be done, and the city needed a lot of rebuilding, and all of you have been very heavily involved in that over the past several days. Everyone, however, except for Chauncey, who essentially fell into a deep sleep for several days at Etama, the chapter house of the Knights of Prospect, where Chauncey was tended to by the other Knights of Prospect. Jelly, Winnie, and Ronaldo, the three of you happened to be in his room when he finally woke up. So let's start right there.
God, he's never gonna wake up.
Maybe what if we put stuff on him?
What do you?
I don't know. I feel like he would enjoy a good prank. Maybe that would bring him too.
It's true. Chauncey is a known prankster. It might, liven his spirits.
Whatever.
should we-
Oh,
Well, if we're gonna do it, we
maybe
can do it now.
that's it.
I think
Yeah.
I think that stirred him.
What should we do? I have a marker.
I
Draw on
have
his face. Draw on his face.
Okay, which I just
Wake up on his forehead.
okay.
all right, and I have some curdled milk. And I'll tuck it under his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very disorienting. I haven't really thought about this. I'll take this pudding cup, and I'll put it here precariously above his head. So if he was to stir, it would fall on his head.
War.
What?
He said warg.
War.
He says warg.
So just to be clear, he did pull the sword that he made a deal with an angel with, correct? So
Yeah.
Are we convinced that when he wakes up, he's still Chauncey, or he's now the angel?
I hope not. I mean, sorry.
I know.
Maybe.
Milk? Is that milk?
Oh, the curdled milk. Its pungent
Working.
quality is waking him. I wonder who he'll be when he wakes.
Chauncey, you won a big competition. If you don't wake up now, you're going to miss out on the prize.
Chauncey, it's me, Rom Tomdol.
Look,
You're so
his
much
legs.
better than me, and I hate myself.
His legs are running like he's in a dream where he's running.
Gotta get the milk.
And actually, you
should
know
we
what?
move the
If we're
stuff?
talking about dreams anyway, let's dive a little bit into Chauncey's mind for a moment. Um, Chauncey, you've spent some indeterminate amount of time in kind of this weird shifting dreamscape. It's kind of been several days of, well, to the rest of the world, several days have passed. But to you, it's like any dream, time is kind of meaningless. And you've just been kind of in this weird state of contemplation, shifting backgrounds. Sometimes you're walking through fields, sometimes you're climbing up hills in the desert. You've in your mind been to landscapes you've never even imagined.
Where
Um,
is that milk, though?
Yeah, and that sense has started creeping in lately, which through all of like the weird dream logic makes you believe that your kind of time on this in this weird plane is coming to an end. Um, and you're kind of wandering through Tower Town. You're kind of walking along the harbor and standing, kind of standing on a pier looking out into the harbor is the militant, the war angel that you made that deal with all that time ago, that you ultimately followed through on that deal with to help save Tower Town from Madame Octopus. Um, it was the militant and the gift that the militant gave you that allowed you to deliver the final blow that destroyed that threat to Tower Town. And so the militant is standing there, really quite out of place, as the militant is you know, manifested as an 8 foot tall war angel with a big helmet and giant golden wings and all of that. And the militant turns and they look at you. Ah, it appears your time of contemplation is almost at an end. You are about to wake.
Oh, that's exciting, Millie.
Millie, it is then.
My stay on this plane has been strange, but nice.
You needed to sleep because if you continued to be awake with all of your newfound power, you would be driven to madness. Your head might literally explode.
Whoa. Whoa.
Indeed, whoa. But I believe that your humors and your psyche have accepted the gifts of my angelic plane.
Wow. So it's all kind of settling in.
Yes and no. You're going to have to acquaint yourself with not only new powers, but new responsibilities as I give them to you.
Oh.
I will be a resource to you, but I will also be an obligation of yours. That is the bargain.
Millie, I accept that. I think anything that you would ask of me, I've seen you and your great wisdom. I know you keep saying I'm the angel of war, I'm the angel of war, but everything you say is so wise and helpful. I'm not worried about tasks you give me. I'm just happy that I can replace my old chaotic powers with something that will only help me and my friends. And I'm excited to get back and to show them and help them out. I'm sure everyone needs my help. Honestly, like if anything magical attacked them while I was gone, they might be dead. So I should probably get back not too long. Can I ask you a quick question?
Of course.
Oh, two. I haven't seen Tony, and I'd love to say hi. And also, is that like a cologne? I smell milk. Does that? I don't want to be rude, but I don't think it's me.
That is not my doing. Best I can tell, your friends are trying to rouse you from your slumber. They believe that your time of contemplation has come to an end.
Oh, wow. I guess it's pretty good timing. They're pretty good friends. No, I don't know if milk alone would do it. They'd probably have to do something like really funny to really get me out of it too.
Well, ask and you shall receive, I suppose. Though I don't want to spoil the surprise of what they have waiting for you upon your waking.
Oh, is it good? Do you know?
I shan't say.
Oh, Millie.
Tony materializes. before you.
Tony!
Describe to the audience what Tony looks like.
Yeah, Tony is my old pal. First, I think one of the first people I spoke to from another plane is a cherub. It's a cherub angel, but is works under the militant. So it's a cherub with tiny, intense shoulder pads and glistening swords and many scabbards on the hips and back. And very pretty eyes, very pretty hazel eyes.
Yeah. Tony is something of an angelic squire to the war angel, and so Tony appears and Chauncey, these new powers look good on you.
Oh, thank you. And I pose a little. I move my cloak a little, and I'm revealing just my the part of my mail that has a spot for that indicates that I'm a wit champion, a winner of the magic fair. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Tony kind of gives you a once over and says, wearing armor of war for but a few days and you've already earned a medal. Very impressive.
Well, I mean, I did a lot of great feats before this, and what I'm going to do now is just going to be, oh, Tony, you're going to love it. It's going to be awesome.
Well, if I can give you a piece of advice,
Please.
I couldn't help but overhear.
Yeah.
The chaotic nature of power is not inherent to the power itself. It's inherent to the wielder. You are being given great gifts, but it is the wielding of those gifts that will prove whether or not they are agents of chaos or agents of righteousness.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Tony, but I'm pretty smart, and it's like gonna have angel powers, so I'm not super worried. It's not like I'm gonna summon an octopus that's gonna try to kill everyone again.
Tony and the militant share a meaningful angelic look.
I nod and I say they are very impressed.
And the militant kind of looks at you and kind of turns fully to you and raises their hand, and kind of that's when the lights fade. Yeah, just as you high five, that's when kind of the lights fade up.
Do you think it was disrespectful that we're pulling a prank on Chauncey when he's about to stir?
High five.
No.
I think this one will work.
My milk! I just spilled the milk all over me.
Pudding cup falls on your head. I'm sorry. I thought that was gonna. It didn't really splatter. It stayed in the cup. I really thought it was less viscous.
It's okay. You did it. You pranked me up.
We pranked you up.
Yeah.
Hey,
Who are you? Who are you?
who are you?
Well, what's your name and who's in charge right now?
Tell us.
I am
Definitely
God.
Chauncey. It's definitely Chauncey.
Blondie. I'm Chauncey's old magic hand. I've taken over, and now it's time for a new ruler of Tower Town.
Okay, hold on, guys. I got this.
Mhm.
Chauncey's very ticklish
Mm.
on his left shoulder.
Mhm.
I tickle his left shoulder. Yeah.
It is Chauncey. Hey!
Oh, you did it! You tickled me out of my possession.
You're all at least 90%, maybe upwards of 95% sure that this is in point of fact Chauncey. But there are a couple of things that are at present fairly inexplicable. One, Chauncey is wearing this kind of silvery chainmail over kind of this white kind of jacket and cloak, and he's dressed entirely differently.
Huh.
And also leaning against his bed is a staff, a white staff that kind of flares at the top. That all of you, really mainly Jelly was probably the most curious about this thing, and
Looking stuff.
yeah, essentially holding it was weird. Like you heard song in your head when you held it, and you felt almost like you were listening to it. It's like you were outside of a private party that you were not invited to. Like it was just this very strange feeling. And Winnie, as a bard who specializes in understanding these kind of strange magics, you are pretty sure that no human being or elf or dwarf or halfling has made this staff. You're pretty sure this staff, best you could tell, is the condensed matter of another plane.
Can I get any bit of the song that's like happening inside of it when I hold it? Is it like something I recognize, or
give me 2d? This is a Constitution roll because you're gonna be literally hearing angels singing directly into your mind. So 2d6 plus Constitution.
9.
All right, you stay conscious. Yes, you know with absolute certainty that the song you are listening to was not crafted by anything that lives on this continent. It's strange and ethereal and beautiful, and it's one of those things where the second you kind of close your mind down to it, you immediately start forgetting it. And when you hold the staff again, it all comes back to you. It's
like
Are you guys touching and singing to my stuff? What? I'm awake now.
Yes.
Yes, we are actually. We weren't expecting you to wake up today, and it was very clear you were. So
I stretch out my arms and reach up, and as I do that, I close my fist and summon my staff to my hand.
Yeah, that's a thing that happens.
Off the bed.
Yeah, it kind of stood upright and then kind of popped into his hand.
Oh,
pretty
cool. That's new.
How did you?
There is you're all kind of standing in wonder over this, but there is another night of prospect here. One of the nights one of the nights that you all know as characters, but that the audience might not. So we're going to make a new night of prospect today. So I want one of you to name this night and everyone else to describe this night.
Her name is Mistress Leanna.
Mistress Leanna is clad in a robe that is almost like not striped, but ornately alternating in pure black and pure white patterns to sort of symbolize the duality of things.
And they have charm bracelets on both of their wrists, like big charm, like they've been collecting them for a really long time. There's like a cute dog, there's like a starfish, but there are also some very intense looking jewels and things.
Yeah, and she has this like a pocket owl is what it's called, and it's perched on her shoulder, but it's a pocket-sized owl. Pitch black as the night, black eyes. Yeah, it's pretty cute and sneaky looking.
Yeah, that pocket owl, in fact, helps her identify the illness or ailment of the creature she is attending to. For she deals both with embalming the dead as well as healing the living.
Yes, this owl is less of an animal companion and even more than a familiar, like quite literally an extension of herself.
Yeah, and she has a charm on both bracelets that match the owl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of owl charms.
Tons. So yeah, Mistress Leanna is a cleric, like a holy healer, much like Raz. But Mistress Leanna does not worship Entourage. Mistress Leanna worships something else. Her faith is, because none of you have kind of sat down and chatted with her, fairly inscrutable to you. She refers to something very ancient and very powerful and very ambivalent to the fate of humankind. And so she's kind of using her relationship with this powerful ancient force to do a lot of her work. Mistress Leanna is one of the most experienced knights. And so she's essentially the ranking officer of the day, since so many of the knights are kind of scattered around. But Mistress Leanna kind of opens the door after knocking and looks in. Ah, Chauncey, you're awake. Good. And Ronaldo, you're here. This is perfect.
Oh.
Ronaldo, do you have one sister or two?
One.
And what is her name?
I don't know if we established it. So
I believe we did.
Oh goodness, I don't remember. Rob the person doesn't remember. Ronaldo the person.
Ronaldo knows his sister. Yeah. So what's Ronaldo's sister's name? We'll make it now.
Okay, it is Cilandria. Cilandria Mysterio Mackay the first.
Very easy to remember.
Yeah,
I don't know why you might have forgotten it.
I don't know why anyone would ever forget this name.
No.
I mean, no one forgot it.
So, Leanna kind of gestures for someone to walk in, and the person that walks in is Cilandria Mysterio Mackay, Ronaldo, your sister.
Sally.
Ronaldo. Well, so Cilandria, for sake of expediency, I'm just going to kind of sum up the bulk of what she says. Cilandria, as well as your parents, Ronaldo III and Roisin, were unceremoniously arrested right before the siege of Tower Town by Archmage Akka, who is now dead. And essentially, it was your whole family that got swept up. Your parents, Cilandria, some cousins. Essentially, everybody was put in a holding cell under Tower Town. And so all of this you knew, but you also knew that the evidence of your family's treason was really completely focused on your father and not everyone else. Yet they held your whole family. And so Cilandria lets you know that she and all of your cousins have been freed. But your father, Ronaldo III, and your mother, Roisin, are not. So that's kind of and it takes her a while to kind of get through this because she talks all through various legal stuff, but we'll kind of snap back into character now. Brother, what I think is going to happen is this. Mother and father are going to be tried tomorrow by private tribunal. If they are convicted, well, if your father is convicted, if our father is convicted, then they are going to, then Archmage Basia is going to apply generational punishment. That is to say, she's punishing the family for the fault of dad, meaning mom and dad are both going to be sent to Castle Peace. That part.
I don't understand why mother would be sent. There's no evidence suggesting she assisted at all. That feels just cruel.
I think that's the point, brother. Father was apparently, well, will be proven tomorrow to be guilty of treason most high, treason that would result in the overthrow of the government of Tower Town. And because of that, the punishment needed to be, well, is going to be so grand that it extends beyond himself. It has nothing to do with fairness, it seems. Mom and dad are both going to jail at Castle Peace. The Castle Peace part is deeply troubling to all of you because Castle Peace is something of scary story you tell children. What are the things that you all have heard about Castle Peace?
Castle Peace, I have heard, is not easy to get to. There's literally one bridge, one very precarious bridge to get to it, because it is quite literally on a plateau surrounded by a giant chasm. It is one of the most heavily fortified and hard to get to fortresses in all of the Riverlands.
Oh,
Just it's awful. I've heard that when you're in there, you can always hear the cries of everyone who has ever been kept there.
yeah. And in the chasm around it as well, there's this, it's like a blood mist. So it's not liquid and it's not air, but it's like a mist of blood and it screams.
There's one song written about it. However, no one in living memory knows that song, for those who recite it find themselves going slightly mad.
The legend of Castle Peace is that it was actually constructed by a noble king who slowly went mad and imprisoned his own entire family. So part of that legend includes the fact that it may or may not be haunted.
Yeah. So that's Ronaldo, where your very guilty father and very innocent mother are going to be sent after a private trial tomorrow morning. Your sister Salandria, is kind of looking at you and saying, "Well, you're a knight. What can you do about this?"
In the very least I can talk to Basia. I do not feel it is a fair punishment to punish. I mean, frankly, it's not a fair punishment to send anyone to Castle Peace, and though I mean, you know my feelings towards father, I don't wish him that much pain, but mother is innocent. Mother deserves no punishment, not even a small punishment.
I take Ronaldo by both shoulders. You look at him. Ronaldo,
Yeah, yes, Chauncey?
are is it true? Are we sure that is there somewhere else that your father should be sent, or should he be free?
He is guilty. There is
Mhm.
irrefutable proof. He had a mercenary contract. There is a very challenging divination spell that was performed, recording a conversation he had with the contractor. And there is lots of invoices and servants who mysteriously stopped working on our compound. They also have signed affidavits. There is basically, he is as guilty gets.
Is there would we be able to send him somewhere else?
I don't know.
Parents. Really, my parents think I'm doing an internship with a fur trapper.
Oh, that's right.
Thanks.
I can't believe you kept that up for so long. It's really cool.
Yeah, quite the charade.
Let's turn back to Ronaldo. Ronaldo.
Really, everybody's got family issues.
I grab him again. Ronaldo.
Ronaldo,
Oh,
Yes.
excuse me. I let go and turn him towards Winnie.
Yes.
Ronaldo,
Yeah.
after saving Tower Town, our group has about as much leverage as we could possibly have to get what we want. Are you sure you want to spend it defending someone who's been cruel to you your entire life?
If I said yes, I would be lying. I am not sure. But what is my family to me? Something I've been running from, but something that is why I am here.
Those with money and power often get by without consequence due to the connections that they have with other powerful people.
I know.
We are bidden to help the helpless. Is that in service of that goal?
It is if it's my mother. My mother is not helpless, but she is innocent. Or I need to find out if she's innocent. And then the pact that we are bound to, I can literally not help them, or I will die. So I turn to Salandria. I'm literally bound to a pact that I cannot help Father. As much as I wish to help Father, I cannot. Because he's not helpless. But my mother, power and connections, she may not be helpless, but I am the only person who can help her. And if she's innocent, I have to.
Salandria nods.
I mean, I wish the cruelest, harshest punishment on Father. He is a terrible man who deserves everything coming to him. And yet I still have sympathy. I can't explain that.
Well,
I need to speak to Roshin or I need to speak to Basia. Actually, I think I more need to speak to Roshin. Mother.
okay, brother. I knew that you would approach this with a level head.
Thank you.
Um,
It's good to see you out of jail.
she gives you a hug. And she begins returning to the compound.
Salandria, can you tell Erica to say that I said hello and that is she still working for us? I haven't seen her.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She's doing what she's been doing for a few months now, which is quietly shipping you parcels of money.
That is true. Well,
Mother and father don't know, but I'm a little smarter with the books than they are.
Thank you. Thank you for not telling. One other thing.
Yeah.
Could you look into something for me?
Of course.
The spell that basically proves without a shadow of a doubt that my father did it is very challenging to do. So I think he was either set up or someone just manipulated that bastard for every cruel ounce of his own emotion. But I think it was deliberate. And the fact that that challenging spell was performed means that someone knew it was going to happen. That meeting was going to happen.
Mm.
Can you look into that for me?
I will. And so you send your sister off on that mission, and you all go to the tower to try to talk your way into seeing your Ronaldo's parents.
Yeah. On the way, I want to ask Ronaldo. Right now, where are we? Do we know if your mother's innocent or no? Is that what we need to find out?
Yeah, we need to find that out because I believe in my heart of hearts that she is.
Ronaldo
does not mean she is.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna summon my staff to my hands.
That's so
You
cool.
left that back.
I could just leave it wherever.
That's impressive.
I wrap Ronaldo in a weird hug.
Wow, this is
with the
not
staff.
comfortable, but thank you.
And I say, Ronaldo, you need assistance. You must discover the truth of this matter, and I am here to help. And I tilt my head up and I scream, Militant! I found a quest!
Okay. So Chauncey, you are declaring that you are embarking upon a holy quest in the name of the militant to discover the truth of Ronaldo III's guilt. So
Ronaldo, I'm here to help. just wrapped in my staff.
So here's how this is going to work. You get to choose 2 boons. So what are 2 things from the list of boons that the militant will bestow upon you?
I can see through lies.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And oh man. And I would also like in case someone should try to perhaps take and hide his family away, an unwavering sense of direction towards Ronaldo's family.
Okie dokie. So you you kind of say this to the heavens, and Jelly, Ronaldo, Winnie, Chauncey is still, a 10, 11-year-old that just kind of stared up at the sky and screamed something. And that in and of itself is not terribly terrifying. But what happens immediately after is, for a moment, just enough for your eyes and ears to register, Chauncey is no longer Chauncey. Standing in Chauncey's place is an angel with outstretched golden wings, bathed in holy light.
Oh my God, it's hugging me.
Yeah. And you hear, Winnie, for a tenth of a breath, that song. And then boom, it just kind of in a wind, it all goes away. So the militant grants you these boons.
What just happened?
It's a good hug, huh?
The vow you must follow is this.
Oh boy.
Chauncey, you are being burdened with the vow of truth. No lies, because you are demanding honesty from all those around you, and as such, you cannot lie in return.
What happened?
I'm here to help, Ronaldo. My new quest is to help you discover the truth of your family. Me, Chauncey, emissary of the militant.
Huh.
Chauncey, that staff. I can't stop looking at it. What's that staff all about? What can it do?
I shoot a beam into the sky.
Okay. The militant is a war angel, which means that when you use a weapon of the seraph, something must die.
Whoops.
What falls from the sky?
It's a pigeon.
Oh my God! Did a pigeon just fall on my head?
Yeah, that
It
was
is a sign of quest.
wow. That was.
Why did you just kill a pigeon, Chauncey?
I got excited.
I slowly
I was
handed
asked about my
to
staff.
Jelly. For some reason, it feels right. I don't know why.
Thank you. Your instincts are correct.
I felt like Jelly would want this.
I need it.
Chauncey's sweating a little. Well, who knows? What? Maybe some other beam of force was already up there, and
That's
then
a
the
lie.
pigeon coincidence. Maybe the pigeon was going to fall. Maybe that's the case.
So, Ronaldo, you need to get into the tower and talk to the powers that be. So, I want you to roll something to do that. It's just a question of what. So, do you want to talk your way in? Do you want to threaten your way in? How do you want to get in? All right. So, give me 2d6 plus charisma.
7.
Okay, partial success, which means they will not let you see your parents, but they will let you see Archmage Basia.
Great. That is excellent. I do appreciate, I know you are a humble receptionist, and I do appreciate the work that you do. This does seem to be a mistake, so I am going to talk to your manager, Archmage Basia.
Well, that's entirely fair. Best of luck, Knights of Prospect.
Yes,
Knights of Prospect.
Yes. What is your name again? I'm sorry. Is it
Ah.
Sandra Philomena? Sandra Philomena. I'm gonna remember that, just in case I have to file a formal complaint.
That's entirely fair. Best of luck. The disc is over there.
Thank
And
you.
you all walk onto the giant wafer-thin floating disc that goes up and down the middle of the enormous tower. And within a few moments, you are in Archmage Bassia's office. This is an office that at least some of you have been in before. It's at near the very, very top of the tower. Even though this tower is made of thick stone, for whatever reason, there are essentially magical windows up here. So even though it's made of stone, the powers of magic of this place allow you to see what must be one of the most beautiful views on the entire continent. The entirety of Tower Town and the Bay of Enteresh from 300 feet up. So Archmage Bassia, as is her wont, kind of lets the impressiveness of this room and that view.
This is nice, Basia. Very
Thank
nice.
you, Ronaldo.
I believe I jumped out of, or no, actually I was above this room when I jumped off the tower to help save the town.
From the roof, if the new songs I'm starting to hear are correct.
Oh yes, I don't
They
super love the nicknames I'm getting, but they're fun.
Oh, well, you did dive into an octopus's stomach, so I feel like the nicknames are just accurate.
Yeah.
Well, I am blessed to be in the presence of 4 Knights of Prospect, 4 saviors of our fair town. But I assume we are here on the mission of 1. Ronaldo, I trust this is about your parents.
Yes. Basia, I would like to I was speaking with a Sandra I think Philomena. I don't remember. It's not important. I was trying to talk with my mother. I would like to have a visiting hour with my mother to speak with her about her guilt in the supposed high punishment she's about to receive.
Oh, your mother's not guilty at all, Ronaldo.
So then why is she being punished?
Because your father is.
I understand that. I understand that that is what is happening. Why is that happening?
Archmage Bassia kind of raises a hand, and this enormous ancient tome slides out of a bookcase and kind of floats through the air and slams down on the big stone table she's sitting at and slowly leafs itself open to the appropriate page. And Archmage Bassia points her finger at a line. Essentially, in the charter of the city, when it was handed down from the elves. The elves had requested of the humans a number of things that were to be set in law. Because essentially this tower, it's called the Tower of Gifts. The elves gifted humanity with this tower. And so humans couldn't just take the gift. Humans had to do something to earn it. And part of it was this set of laws that kind of govern Tower Town. In elven culture, the greatest and most harrowing crime you could commit is the crime of treason. The bringing ruin upon one's own home. The elves have a lot of different words for it that Winnie could talk you through. There's essentially treason against the forest and treason against nature and treason against people and treason against, but humans have one word for it, and it's just treason. And because treason is so vicious and so horrible and malign of a crime, that the punishment in Tower Town for treason, punishment that is rarely meted out since very few people are committing treason, is what's called a generational punishment. Essentially, everyone, spouses, brothers, sisters, everyone on the same level of the family tree must be punished for the treason of one member.
It is intended, as I understand it, as a way to allow those who might consider their own self-sacrifice as an acceptable punishment so long as those close to them will still benefit from their terrible actions. It is a way to de-incentivize those bad actors. If you act poorly and are willing to sacrifice yourself so that others may still gain benefit from your bad actions, then what way is there to punish those moving forward? Basically, you're setting a price. You're saying, sure, you can do this and ensure the benefit of all those close to you, so long as you're willing to take punishment for yourself. It is a way to get around that because your actions extend beyond yourself. That is the initial, or from what I understand, the true intent of that.
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
How many innocent people have you sent to jail? People that you've known were innocent that you've sent to jail. How many?
I lean in really close. I see your lies.
Archmage Basia says, she looks at you, Chauncey, and you see her kind of do something with her hand. She casts some kind of incantation. And then she answers, your mother would be the first. And Chauncey, she is telling you the truth. No crime in her tenure has ever risen to the level of treason.
Oof.
Do you feel good about this?
I
As
do
a
not.
person, then why do we not change laws? Laws are not set in stone. I know this is literally kind of made of this. Is this stone? Is this am I looking literally at something set in stone? Is that a bad expression to use?
She holds her hand over the book and more pages leaf over.
Not set in stone. Perfect.
Failure to abide by the rules as laid out in the exchange would result in the deconsecration of the tower.
Oh.
And now this part's a little thorny because it's a weird mix of like legal theory and magical theory.
I hate
like
lawyer wizards.
It's not. There is literally a whole discipline of magical lawyering, and it's not a thing that you have ever. Your parents asked if you were interested.
I didn't want to be a lawyer wizard. No one wants to be a lawyer wizard. It's very profitable and nobody's happy.
But essentially, it's almost like there's some weird magical tally in the sky. Like essentially, if the human rulers of Tower Town, the human rulers of the tower, do enough, then the tower is deconsecrated. And considering this thing is a 300-foot tall spike that is held together by magic, the tower being deconsecrated would be the equivalent of a gigantic bomb being dropped on Tower Town. I don't take any pride in this, Ronaldo.
Did I notice the hand? Did I recognize the hand gestures that she was making?
I'm going to say give me 2d6.
Okay.
2d6 plus wisdom.
6.
No, she's very, very good. It was whatever it was done quick. And so you don't know if she's hiding something. In fact, you were almost certain she'd be lying, except for the fact that Chauncey, who is apparently being guided by a war angel right now, seems pretty insistent that she's telling the truth.
I have a hypothetical question. If, say, the person who was to be punished, who was innocent of the crime, disappeared mysteriously and escaped from your hold, would this pact still be upheld?
As in, if you are unable, not unwilling.
Winnie, that's a very, very good question. We're going to let the dice decide what the answer is. Give me 2d6 with nothing added or subtracted.
Winnie saying that was the same thought Ronaldo was having.
We are
Great bards think
similar-
alike.
Yes. 5.
Okay. As you ask this question, you hear that sound of the big elevating disc kind of rise up. Running out is Knight of Prospect and newly reinstalled Protector of Tower Town, Spitzfoot, who you all know well. Spitzfoot runs in and looks at all of you. Okay, well, at least you're not suspects.
What?
Spitzfoot takes off his helmet. The entire side of his face is caked in blood. There's been an escape. Now. There's been an escape now from the dungeons.
What? Who? What?
He looks at Ronaldo. And he walks up to Ronaldo. And through the blood that is rapidly scabbing across his face, he is an inch away from you. And he's making eye contact. He says, "We are knights, Ronaldo. We are kin now.
Mm-hmm.
But if I find out that you are in any way responsible for the escape of your parents, I'm going to kill you." Basia, I need you to open the aviary. And Basia kind of almost casually throws a hand up in the sky, and there's a burst of purple smoke. And within a few seconds, Spitzfoot starts walking towards one of these magical windows and through it and jumps off the side of the building.
Whoop.
Within a few seconds, you see him 100 feet away on the back of a griffin, flying north.
During this time, Winnie is convinced that somehow her words magically, and she has no idea. She's like pretty convinced she didn't do this and that no one here did this, but also she's like kind of like shaking her hand and being like, is there magic here? What just happened?
Yeah, that's something, Winnie, that you need to ponder. You are a bard whose words have power, and you are in the equivalent of a giant elven tuning fork right now. Archmage Basia looks at all of you. Well, I suppose we're going to find out after Spitzfoot captures them. I don't think he plans on doing so alive. So if you want to save your parents so that we may engage in this type of discourse, I suggest you get moving.
What aren't you telling me, Basia? My father has been convicted of a crime with pretty much the most inscrutable evidence I've ever seen, and I'm not a lawyer wizard or law wizard at all. And no, I think my father deserves punishment of the highest degree. How different would it be if he was tricked into doing it? Who would go to jail then? Who would go to Castle Peace then?
Well, that's a very interesting theory. And if your father, one of the self-styled smartest people in this entire town with generations upon generations of wealth and insight.
He's actually an idiot. He's just rich.
Well, if he was somehow convinced to engage in treason by some other actor, I would suppose that it would be entrapment and we would have to reassess the evidence.
How do you reassess the evidence after someone's been sentenced to execution?
I've never had to do it. And frankly, I don't know if I will get the chance. Spitfoot is on a griffin right now, and I assume he's trying to find your parents.
If I find out that this is all a big setup, those people will be dead as well.
I start hitting my staff right behind Ronaldo.
Ow, stop hitting me.
No, I'm sorry. I was trying to get my hand. It's long. I'm not used to it yet.
It's fine. Listen,
Okay.
Can we borrow some griffins?
Whoo, that's a big ask. Roll for it.
Oh.
As Ronaldo asks, I just casually look out the window and start reminiscing. Why, just the other day, this very tower was about to be pulled down by an octopus when, gosh, I feel like I remember a group of heroes, one distinct among them,
11.
who shattered the octopus and saving the town.
Did you say something before about always knowing where
Yes.
Ronaldo's? Okay.
Yes,
I wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Clarifying.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's yeah, I could totally do that.
Okay, great.
Part of the agreement between the government of Tower Town and the Knights of Prospect are that in moments of need, when a knight requests aid from the tower, aid will be given.
Mm.
Within a few seconds, 4 griffins appear outside the window.
I assume it's like riding a horse, and I take a big bounding leap and I jump onto one.
You jump through a thick stone wall and land on a griffin 300 feet up in the sky.
I look, I'm super jealous already. I turn to Batsy and I go, hey, real quick, have you cast any spells to deceive us while I've been here?
No, none at all.
Okay.
Believe her.
I look up and scream, I hope this is working, militant! And then I run and I jump on the biggest griffin that's left.
I stay to watch Vild jump or Jelly jump because I imagine that it's going to be done with a lot of skill and some fanfare, and I am excited to see that happen.
Oh, absolutely. And during the hullabaloo that had taken place previous to this, I slipped into my pocket what looked like a letter opener off the desk, and it's a glowing kind of jade green. So I have that in my pocket, and I run towards the window, tossing the dead pigeon carcass up in the air so the griffin catches it in its mouth, eats it. I do a backflip, land on its back.
This was the purpose of the pigeon being knocked down. I see now.
The pigeon arc.
I follow soon after with much less fanfare and a lot more caution, as I am not often flying on a griffin.
No, it is. None of you need to roll for the absolute terror of being hundreds of feet in the sky on an animal, because these are exceptionally well-trained griffins.
Oh my goodness.
Chauncey.
Yeah.
You know with absolute unwavering certainty where Ronaldo III and Roisin are.
Mm.
You are, in point of fact, probably the only person that does, for reasons we will get to in a moment. What I need you all to roll, though, whichever one of you is feeling lucky, give me 2d6 plus dexterity. Reason why is even though you know exactly where your parents are, Spitzfoot is an incredibly capable knight, and he had a head start.
You said any of us can roll this?
Anyone feeling lucky?
I'm glad I did. 10.
Okay. Taking general lead from Chauncey, who is like pointing his staff like the dial of a compass.
Onward!
The 4 of you take off on griffins, kind of sweeping through the sky above Tower Town, and even beyond that into the farmland, and you are covering lots and lots of ground. The wind is whipping through your face. You see the ruined harbor. You see the rebuilt Elkcrest farmhouse. You are flying above the birds. You are flying just below the clouds. And you point, Chauncey, after a few minutes of kind of hard flying, you point down at a patch of dirt road. It's not one of the main trade roads out of Tower Town. It's like a dirt road that goes off of one of the trade roads. And you are pointing down at the ground. You know the militant is directing your eyes to this spot, but there is nothing there.
Ronaldo, your parents have turned into that dirt.
What?
Without a shadow of a doubt, that is exactly where they are.
I look around to see if there's any sort of openings to a tunnel.
Ronaldo, 2d6 plus your, let's call it wisdom. I'll give you a +1 too. This is magical.
3.
Okay.
I have no idea where anything is.
Oh, no. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on.
Okay.
I'm just going to make it the worst possible news.
Phew.
Great.
It all comes together for you in a moment. You have a moment of absolutely perfect logical understanding of what's going on. Your father almost certainly decided to spend some amount of the family fortune on an escape. But who would be crazy enough to try to break into Tower Town's dungeons beneath the Arcane College? Who would do that? Who could do that? And also, who could do that and would do that and would have the ability to turn themselves and your parents and whatever vehicle they're being transported in completely perfectly invisible? And there is one answer to all of that question. The Burning Company. A group of wizards and immolators that serve no master. They are essentially the scariest hired muscle on the entire continent.
Great.
And you're pretty sure there's some group of them that are invisible about 200 feet down.
I swoop my griffin down.
I follow Ronaldo.
I land, hopefully. I hop off. And I pull out my rapier and I point it roughly in the direction that I think it is.
I adjust his rapier to point exactly where they are. There you go, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
Just yeah.
Thank you. You are under arrest by order of the Knights of Prospect.
You are pointing your sword at nothing in particular right now.
It's all fiery.
Yeah, it's wreathed in flame. And you hear from the silence and nothingness in front of you, laughter. Bold. Most bold. And who is it? What visible person is threatening us right now?
I would like to use my ability, Sick Burn, and say, the only person you will ever be afraid of for as long as you live.
Sick burn.
Oh! 2 6s.
I try to do a backflip behind it. Yo, go Ronaldo!
Goodness. Sweating. I'm sweating. Ronaldo is sweating. I am also sweating.
The laughter stops. Shimmering into reality is a figure on top of a black horse covered in red markings. Sitting atop it is a man covered in armor in similar red markings. He takes off his helmet and throws it to the ground. His face is covered in these red markings, from the tip of his head all the way down to his neck where the armor is. He's covered in tattoos. My name is Cedric of the Burning Company. I fear no man. He does not draw a weapon. He instead just holds up his hand and an axe made of fire forms.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
I throw my staff away and bring it back to my hand.
He-
Same.
I unleash a crazed musical performance that goes to 11 to try to get him to attack someone nearby him.
Okay, it sounds like we're about to do a little combat here. So, so Winnie, that sounds like a great place to start. You are going to try to madden the Burning Company. So give me 2d6 plus charisma.
7.
You think I'm mad? You think I'm scared? Let me show you. And he throws the giant flaming axe towards a patch of nothingness along the road, but it sticks in the sky above the ground about 6 feet. Eventually, what it sticks into becomes visible. It is a man in armor who is now screaming and has fallen off of his horse. 2 more Burning Company members shimmer into reality, and they both immediately call. Cedric Bard, 2 of them. And then Cedric kind of looks like wild-eyed. Focus fire. And yeah, okay. So, who's going next?
I'm mad. It's ridiculous. That was an awful demonstration. You hurt my friend and his parents. And I keep looking at the one who we've been talking to. What was your name again?
Cedric.
Cedric, I'd like to show you something. It's very special. I haven't actually shown anyone yet. And I turn around for a second. And then I turn back around and become a viscid bully terror.
Okie dokie. Roll 2d6 plus your constitution.
6.
All right. Well, the good news is that it works.
As I'm turning around, I do this. And then my face is slowly transforming. I'm trying to slowly transform into the image of a dark, dark angel on earth with glowing red eyes.
Chauncey, it absolutely works. Here's what I need from Jelly, Ronaldo, and Winnie. Now, keep in mind, you're the only people that are going to be rolling for this. Everyone else doesn't get that benefit. I need you all to roll 2d6 plus your constitution right now. Anyone that gets a 6 or less, please tell me.
As my hand comes down, I'm sprouting 4 pairs of wings.
8. Counting.
My
10.
tongue becomes slightly too long.
Well, I'll be darned. Your boon companions remain your boon companions. Yes, Chauncey begins growing, kind of bathed in what should be wholly comforting light, but for whatever reason, the whites and yellows that he is bathed in are terrifying instead of comforting. He grows, wings spring from his back, his teeth grow. He is clad in the visage of absolutely inhuman terror.
Dirk, was it Dirk? Was Dirk your name? I forgot your name already. That's how insignificant you are.
Two of the members of the Burning Company, neither of them Cedric, the other 2, realize in this moment that you are their death. and they decide right now to break their vow to the Burning Company and ride off screaming into the hills. Jelly, Ronaldo, Winnie, the three of you, the only reason why the terror gripping your heart is not fully paralyzing is because you know that Chauncey is in there. And you have to keep reminding yourself of this 100 times a second. Cedric remains. With one of the Burning Company dead by Cedric's hand and the other two having rode off towards the hills, they are unable to maintain the illusion. And an armored caravan shimmers into reality behind Cedric. Well, then it's just us then. A second giant burning axe appears in his other hand. Who's going next? Yeah.
Have you been paid already?
Give me 2d6 plus charisma, because he's planning to kill you and he doesn't want to parlay.
9.
What do you want the answer to be?
I want it to be yes.
A down payment, with the remainder coming after I kill the four of you and take them where they're going.
That's not gonna happen.
Okay.
All of those things.
Who goes next?
All right. As a trap expert, I would like to survey the area and see who or what else is hidden here. Is there anything else hidden here that could be of use?
2d6 plus dexterity.
I have 10.
Okay. Yeah. There is well, what do you want to be here? What natural feature would be really interesting for you to use?
Let's see. I suppose a sort of like a cliff face with crevices in it that kind of have sort of animals and vegetation oozing out of it, like it's viney.
Yeah, there's the bit of country that they're starting to wind into was essentially kind of a clear-cut mine. So you're kind of fighting along a road that's a few feet away from a number of like very deep shafts and caverns. So yeah, you look at that and kind of share that information with everybody via a series of, a series of kind of winks and nods. Who goes next?
I would like to... This armored caravan, is there an obvious door?
There is.
I would like to try and open it.
Okay.
Try and maneuver around him if he attacks me and get to it.
2d6 plus dexterity to try to get around him.
7.
Your choice. You take damage and get around him, or you avoid damage and stay in front of him.
Take damage and get around him.
You sprint off, kind of around, like you're keeping your flaming sword between you and him. But Cedric, for a man of his size, moves very, very fast. And he kind of knocks the sword away and throws one of the burning axes up in the sky, and then just essentially slaps a burning handprint onto your face. You take 6 damage.
Oof.
And like you feel your skin crackling and burning, and you get by. He turns and starts essentially following you. So what that means, everybody, because of what Ronaldo has done, all of all of Cedric's focus is going to be on Ronaldo. So any partial successes or failures you make will result in damage to Ronaldo.
I hate this function.
It's so good because it keeps everybody else safe.
I know.
Who goes next?
I see that he's gone after him. I know, Ronaldo, get your parents. I'm gonna run right up to this fellow with the 2 red axes. And I'm gonna blast him with my staff.
Gotcha. Give me a volley.
Six.
Okay. So you kind of you run up and you kind of aim it and fire, and a beam of holy energy, like blinding light, kind of zips past Cedric and shears an inch of armor plating off of a chunk of this caravan.
Yes, this will help you get them, Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, you take 6 damage.
Ah!
No, you take 6 damage.
Good. Well, ow. Ow. Lots of ow.
Sorry.
Yeah, at this point, you are now like opening the door with one hand and trying to parry away axes made of fire with the other hand, and one of them kind of blazes through and kind of slices you across the middle. And it's just, there's no blood, it's just burning. It's just horrible burning. Who's next?
Oh gosh. I'm conflicted. Winnie is conflicted. She doesn't want to hurt Ronaldo anymore. And most of her stuff is going to hurt Ronaldo too.
Winnie, we are at a very small scale war. We have to make these decisions. If the militant has taught me anything, it's that we have to follow through with battle.
Okay. I go ahead and use metal hurlant, and I try to just deal damage to the guy. So I let out a piercing scream.
Go for it.
Okay, 9.
Okay. Do your damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that, Dirk. Roger.
Finding appropriate die. Well, 1.
Okay.
But is deafened for a few minutes.
Yes. So you kind of let out this ear-piercing scream that Cedric begins kind of clutching his ears and howling. Ronaldo, you're going to have to make a choice at this point, because this kind of presents an opportunity. Normally he would be attacking you, but right now he is dealing with the impossible pain that he is feeling kind of in this whole area here. Do you want to get away, disengage, or do you want to open that door?
I want to open that door.
Give me a dexterity roll. +1, because that's a cool thing to want to do.
Okay. You said +1?
Mm-hmm.
7. Skin of my teeth.
Okay. You take 1 damage and are deafened for a few moments.
Oh!
But you pry open the armored door, slam it, and lock it behind you. You are now in this carriage and also in it, lit by just the faint bits of light creeping through like the armored slats, is your father, Ronaldo III, and your mother, Roisin. Both of them, eyes full of surprise. And your father, after gathering himself for a moment, gives you an inscrutable look, leans forward, and says,
I don't know what you're saying, but I hate you. This is
Outside.
your fault.
Outside, I'm like, I bet Ronaldo's having the reunions he's wanted right now.
outside, what are we going to do about Cedric?
Oof. Okay, I think I'm going to employ one of my poisons. My oil of Tajit.
Got it. So, give me an attack roll.
Okay.
Hack and slash. See if you can get it into the bloodstream.
Right. I have hack and slash. I got a 5. Got a 5.
All right. You kind of crack it open. You kind of crack it open on your blade, and you kind of wade in with the rapier. Because Cedric is, kind of maddened by Ronaldo's magical insult, he is pounding on the side of the armored caravan with his giant burning axes. But he turns to you at the last minute and kind of gets a defensive kind of crossing of axes in front of him. And you kind of stab through the crossed axes. Well, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is that the tip of your rapier ends up getting about half an inch into his shoulder. The bad news is that the flames of these burning axes begin boiling the oil of Tajit, and you instinctually take a deep breath. And the lights go out for you and
Oh God.
All right. We're gonna make some big decisions right now. Cedric, the captain of the burning company, is temporarily asleep, and Ronaldo, your hearing has come back enough that you can have about a moment's worth of conversation with your parents before some decisions need to be made. What do you want to say to them?
I want to say to them, we don't have a lot of time, but you both need to come with me.
Your mother asks, where?
It'll make sense in a second, I promise.
Well, I trust you, honey. And she kind of takes your hand. Your father looks at you. I had a plan, Best plan money could buy.
You always have a plan. For 1 second, just 1 second, I really, really wanted to put you on the back of a griffin and throw you back in Tower Town. I'm going to let Thud Merrick do that. I'm going to let someone else do that. Because you doomed our family. You alone doomed our family. Because you weren't happy with having everything. You wanted more. And you were never happy with your children because your children didn't want to be like you. Goodbye. I hope you enjoy Castle Peace. And I take my mother by the hand and I exit the carriage. And hope that what's-his-face is not able to interrupt us.
Not there yet. All right. What's the plan?
my plan is to get on the back of one of those griffins, fly off into the sunset, leave everyone behind with her.
We'll end it right there. Good work, everybody.
Bye, Ronaldo. Oh, God.
Wowzers.
Well.
Well, I hope Ronaldo has a good flight.
You don't know what I did to the tower. Oh God.
What I like about this game is it's about making big decisions. Big decisions. Important decisions.
I'm sorry, we don't know what? Wowzers.
Yeah.
Wowzers indeed. Well, speaking of wowzers,
Oh my God.
wowzers, what a great crowd here on Twitch. Thank you, as always, Knights of Prospect fans, for tuning in. We are here every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on twitch.tv/2MB Studios. For those of you that consume your Knights of Prospect on YouTube or on your podcasts, go ahead and just search Knights of Prospect on YouTube or wherever you find your podcasts. All of our back episodes are there. They are very, very, very fun, and we strongly recommend that you enjoy them. Also, if you like watching comedy on Twitch and you have not yet subscribed to 2MB Studios, you definitely should. There are shows 7 days a week. They're all fantastic. We've got game shows. We've got wrestling leagues. We've got talk shows. We've got music. We've got all kinds of great stuff. And speaking of all kinds of great stuff, do you like learning things? We strongly recommend you go to 3weeks.courses. We are partnering with the great organization, 3weeks.courses, because they offer 3-week-long classes in a variety of really, really exciting and interesting subjects. There is one called Improv and Role Playing that I strongly recommend because I teach it and I know it's excellent. But you can learn all manner of other things as well, including personal finance and a variety of other skills. Say your friends at 2MB Studios sent you, and we would really appreciate it. But even if you don't, we really appreciate you anyway. But we'd appreciate you more if you took those classes. But even if not, still appreciate it. Thank you, as always, for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Bye.